Hey everyone, I'm Uriah Kaiser, publisher of Potomac Local News, and we are live this morning with Chris Peden. He's the principal owner of Peden Accounting Services. Chris is going to come on today, and we're talking about getting back on track, what business is like in a post-COVID world. And wouldn't you know, uh, when you're live, you do get some feedback, and I'm going to try to solve this technical issue. Give me 1 second. On track, what business is like in a post-COVID world. And I apologize for the technical issues. When you're live, you do get some feedback, and I'm going to try. All right, I think we solved the feedback problem. So Chris,
Yes,
you
sir.
can hear me well.
I can hear you well.
That's fantastic. I like when people can hear me. Chris, thanks for coming on today. We really appreciate it. Listen, I'll start off by saying that you are a supporting partner of Prince William, of Potomac Local News, and we certainly appreciate that. But I will put out there that this is not a paid post. This is not a sponsored post. This video is not an advertisement. This is just simply an invitation from me to you to come on and talk about how your business is faring in a post-COVID world. Well, I should say post-pandemic world. COVID is very still much with us. And sort of how you've pivoted, how you've changed your sort of approach to serving your customers, and how maybe other businesses could take a page from your book to talk about how they can move forward in a post-pandemic world. So Chris, thanks for coming on. You're based in Manassas. Tell me, tax season is past now, and I imagine that is your busy season. So it all kind of hit at once, the tax season, the pandemic. What was life like for you only a few short months ago?
Well, if you're talking about before the pandemic hit, we were just gearing up for tax season. My wife and I both work in the business, so we were more heads down. Let's get things out to our existing customers, make sure that they knew exactly what information we had, as well as reaching out to people that we thought that we could help, or who've reached out to us and said, hey, we want some help with your taxes. So as far as before it was just business as usual, and then everything hit, and it was a little bit scary. We didn't know how this was going to affect us, but we actually did put some things in place that actually helped us with the tax season and getting people's taxes done. So if you want me to go into that, I can.
Yeah,
talk
sure. Absolutely. Talk about some of the things that you might have done differently during this season.
Well, a lot of times what we would do is sit down and have a person-to-person meeting with our clients and get the paperwork from them, look over it, and then get anything that we needed. But because of the pandemic, what we have is made more use of our secure portal, where people could actually upload their documents to the portal so that we could get everything they needed, and they didn't have to talk to us. And I put it as, have a meeting with your tax advisor in your bunny slippers. That's not to have anything like rabbit slipper, like it's bear slippers or what have you. Just bunny slippers is what came out. So really what we have is just a way for a client, they can load things up, or as things come in, oh, this needs to come in. They don't need to call us and say, hey, can you meet me here? It just zoom it up into the portal, and we can work from there. And then we would have a number of Zoom meetings if they wanted to chat about something. Phone calls are always welcome. And just questions pop up. It was always, hey, can I give you a quick call? Or, hey, can we pop on a Zoom so I can show you something? It's, hey, yeah, of course. So it was a lot easier because we had put in place a way for clients to get us things. It just kind of flowed from there. It wasn't that hard to make the switch.
So we're using Zoom now, and it sounds like you incorporated Zoom into your daily routine, serving your customers there. Were people, did they jump into it just like I know that some people in the onset, were wondering, about Zoom and how it's going to work. But when they're talking about their finances and their taxes, do people just jump into it as if they were anything else? Did that work for you pretty well?
Well, where we are in the technological evolution, people were fairly comfortable with it. Yeah, because they kind of want to look me in the face and try and get a read on me. It's kind of like, I guess, playing poker. They wanted to see my poker face and see what my reaction was to what they were saying. Just I've been in the tax business long enough that nothing really ever surprises me. So sometimes people say, well, I kind of had the situation like, okay, well, people have actually had that. It's not that big of a deal. We can deal with it. Let's go. But people were not hesitant to jump on and say, let's have a Zoom call. It was just, okay, yeah, let's get on and do that. So yeah, they're pretty good about it.
One of the things that I know about you is that you do enjoy the face-to-face, and I can see where Zoom fits that role. But you also have office space at the Centrifuge in downtown Manassas. And can you talk for me about how sort of that has at first, I know things were obviously shut down. We were,
Yep.
we were completely in lockdown mode, but now we're in phase 3, and businesses are open again, restaurants are open again, people are coming back out again. Can you sort of give us your, I guess, an anecdote, your take on how Manassas is coming back to life in a post-pandemic world?
Well, we're seeing a lot of restaurants starting to open up, which is good. We've got some great restaurants here, and some of them have shifted how they did things. Okra's down the street was actually having menus that someone could order a menu and they could come and just pick it up, which is great because preparing dinner, you're right, as you'll find out with a growing family that it's going to get a little bit tougher. That just trying to figure out what it is you want to do. So people are starting to come into Centrifuge, sit down and do a little bit of work. It was great for us. Our kids are great. They're 21 and 18. Yes, they're autistic, but having an office space where you could go and just kind of get away from it for a little while and just silently work for a while was very helpful. And then also just people maybe here in the office, you can just actually, hey, here's human contact with somebody that I'm not related to. So it was great. And people are really looking forward to getting out, and they are getting out and just chatting with people. I'm starting to see it come alive here down at on Main Street here, Sinistral Brewing Company and the Old Town Whiskey Club are starting to hold events here so people can get out, sit down with their friends, be socially distant, and enjoy some camaraderie.
Now we have our chat open here on YouTube, and if you want to chime in, I'll ask a question. It seems
Sure.
like you're not the first person who has told me that they've went into the office during the pandemic. It was nice to have a place to go, and they actually could get more done versus being at home. So if you were in the same boat, if you're out there and you did the same thing, if you had an office space that you were able to go to, you didn't have to lock down in terms of work, tell us about it. Did you go to an office? Did you get more done? Were you able to work from home? Did you get more done there? Go in our chat and let us know. Chris, with the people coming back to Manassas, and as you said, people coming into Centrifuge and actually working again, and of course, Centrifuge is a co-working space, so it's a communal workspace. How do you think this will help your business?
Well, we like to be here and people coming in, and we're basically the entrepreneurial heartbeat of Manassas. So people coming in, they've started their business, and we're seeing businesses kind of shift now, knowing that some companies may lay them off because, well, we can't bring you in. There's not the demand. Well, now's the time to think about starting your own gig and coming in, and when people are great at what they do, but they may not know, say, the accounting or the tax. What do we do here? How do we set this up? And it would be great just having people down there saying, hey, you're an accountant. Hey, I just got this quick question for you. Can you take a couple of minutes with that? Absolutely. So I love talking with people, love answering these questions. And as I say to people, look, no question is ever stupid. Just if you have it, ask it. And because you know what, you're probably great at what you do, but you just don't know about certain other things. So go ahead and ask the question. So it probably will help our business because people are now venturing out and wanting to start their own thing. So I'm here to help them.
Are you taking different types of questions or more of a certain type of question with so much uncertainty going on right now with the coronavirus? We don't know if there's going to be a vaccine or not. Schools are going to start back up virtually, or people. And so as business owners who claim part of their house, who are working from home now, may claim part of their house
Yep.
as an exemption. We have children learning from home now. So, what impact might that have? Are you taking new or different types of tax questions post-pandemic than you did back in January?
No, they're actually pretty much the same ones because we've been focused on small business owners, and really with the tax code has not changed in COVID. So really nothing has changed about the tax code. They're just going to be breaks, and nothing really has changed. We'll get the occasional question on PPP and how that's going to be affecting things. But outside of that's really the only thing that has changed is, well, how is this going to affect my taxes? So we've answered a couple of those questions and continue to be happy to do so.
So in terms of what you had to do to pivot your business, in terms of, because generating leads, right, is a key part to any business. They need customers. And so when we were told no more events, and business owners have to go, whether they like it or not, they have to go to these networking events, these handshaking, of a lot of handshaking going on. And we were told not only can we not do that anymore, go to events, but handshake. So searching for new leads, bringing in new customers, what did you do differently during the pandemic to get those things done?
Well, really, it was more of putting more information out, because people are going to have questions and they want to deal with somebody local, whether you're online or you're there in a meeting. So what I tried to do was a lot of articles from my blog at PedenAccountingServices.com. We would send out notifications that, hey, I've got this new post up on, be it hiring your child, or it's here's some things you need to know about how COVID is going to affect your taxes. We made sure that those got pushed out and on a Facebook page or LinkedIn or what have you, so people could, because they're going to have questions. And that's really, when you're looking for an accountant, you have a particular question that needs to be answered and they want to find the answer to it. And from there, we can bring them in and ask them more questions about their financial situation or their tax situation, and then bring them on from there. So really, it's more engagement on social media, as well as putting more information out there on the blogs.
And in terms of the people who are meeting with you, talking with you, Zoom now, which we're on again, we're on Zoom, and it doesn't seem to be sort of the hurdle that it might have been early on. Are you in a position now where you could essentially do your job from anywhere? I mean, do you think you're to that point yet? Do you want to be at that point as a business owner?
Well, it's a little bit different for me, because we have 2 kids on the autism spectrum, and a lot of their benefits and what we deal with is locality based. So to change it from here to, say, maybe Hawaii would be a bigger adjustment than if we would. But I had been following this movement since Tim Ferriss came out with a 4-hour work week, and have been looking at how people are doing it, because I knew that at some point that this was going to be, I was going to need to be able to work from home or to be location independent based on what the kids needed. And I'm seeing a lot, especially in the FIRE movement, the financially independent retire early community, that this is now becoming more of a thing, and more people are listening to this and wanting to follow it. So it's possible that I could work from anywhere, but really, I like where we live. Manassas is a great town, Northern Virginia. We got great newspapers like Potomac Local to give us some news. And
flattery will get you everywhere, sir. Thank you.
Why would we? Yes, and we'll forgive you for stealing our nationals down there to Frederick. So we'll let that one go.
So that's interesting. You've been following this movement, and we've to a 4-day work week, and we've been covering some of the school divisions that we're considering going. Stafford County is one of them, considering going hybrid. Some have gone all virtual, at least for the first 9 weeks or so. But do you think that the sort of work from home bug that people were bitten with, without maybe they're choosing, they just were forced into it, do you think it's here to stay? And if so, how does that change a business owner's approach to their taxes and their finances? What should they prepare to do differently?
Well, do I think it's here to stay? Potentially. I'm not sure what most of America is working for somebody. So it really depends on what the people they're working for want to do or feel comfortable with. So it's really hard to say. I think it probably is. As far as getting ready, your taxes, what have you, it's really, you're going to have a home office. Let's talk about what things you need to put in place to make sure you can deduct for that. Mileage for your car. What things can you buy? What deductions do you have available for a small business, like your office supplies, what have you, that you can take into account? So usually it's, let's sit down and have a conversation about okay, what is it that you want to do? Let's see what kind of tax savings ideas we can put in place so that's actually making you money.
And did you sort of take a look back when you when we went into phase three and you went back to work, you went back to the Centrifuge co-working space, and you saw maybe some familiar faces you hadn't seen in a while. Uh, did you take a look back and say, wow, I did this different, and it was either on purpose, or maybe you did some reflection and realized that this change just kind of happened? And if you did, what was it? And then how can other business owners maybe learn from a fewer things that you did during the pandemic, now that we're coming out of the pandemic, to continue serving their customers?
Well, I've started in the most recent years looking at Stoicism and reading a lot about that. Ryan Holiday has an excellent book called "The Obstacle is the Way." It's been very big in the NFL and talks about, look, that which is the impediment is what drives you forward. So as far as business owner goes, look, you have a situation, you can't sit there and complain about it. It's okay, we have this, how can we use it? My wife and I have been dealing with this with the boys being autistic. It's okay, they're autistic, what changes do we need to make? And I've talked to a lot of people about it and said, look, if this had happened, the boys had not been autistic, I probably would not have gone and been self-employed or set up a business, so that when I was moving out of corporate America and I basically was a part of a reorganization, I put things in place so that I could move in that direction. So it's really, if you're a business owner, sit down saying, well, where do I want to be and what tools do I have that I can make this happen? And look at what other businesses do for inspiration, but not for rules. So if someone's doing something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do it. Just weigh whether or not that's exactly something that you want to do and can help your business and your customers. So it's kind of taking a look around as well as looking at within to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is how I want to serve. How can I use what's around me to help that?
And finally, as we continue pushing forward into the recovery, and we're again in phase three, and where do you see Peden Accounting Services 6 months from now, as we enter 2021? Where do you see your business?
Well, one thing we've started doing is trying to take a look at how we can help customers with their cash flow, projecting it out so that they can make better decisions, because that was the big problem that hit a lot of businesses, is cash flow all of a sudden dried up and they're not paying attention to it. So that's something that we're adding in to say, all right, if you want to take a look at your cash flow, this is something that you need to start doing, because you can't survive without cash. Also, what we have been doing is taking a look at tax savings ideas. There are a lot of ways within a tax code that you can save money by owning your own business. And we want to sit down with people and talk to them and say, hey, have you thought about doing this? Or, oh, you're doing this, here's some ways you can save money. So we want to work with them to, one, keep more money in their pocket, budget out how they're going to be spending it, as then also save money on your taxes so that they can use this tax code to kind of finance their business without waiting for April 15th to see how they did.
Chris Peden, listen, man, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on and talking about some of the challenges that you faced, and getting back to real life again. It sounds like you were ecstatic to be able to see new things. Is there anything that you want to plug in terms of how people can get more involved, whether it be in your business or networking around your business in Manassas? Here's a great chance to talk about some of the things you've got going on.
Well, I'm an organizer for 1 Million Cups, and that's a small organization where business owners come together. And if you've got a problem with something, or you're just stuck on something, you want some other people to get some feedback, it's a great way to be able to sit down with other business owners and talk it out or get some other ideas. The Small Business Development Center with George Saragusa here at Centrifuge is a great resource. He's a brilliant man, and he and I have batted things back and forth, and I always come away learning more from him. And then, of course, there's Centrifuge, where you can come in, sit down, and get some work done. And then I'm always kind of prowling the halls here with my wife is also here from time to time, and we're always happy to answer questions. Just stop us in the hall, and we got free coffee here. So pop on in, have a cup of coffee, sit down, and talk about what's going on.
Peden Accounting Services, again, is located in Manassas in the Centrifuge, and I'm sharing the website right now on your screen. If you want to talk to Chris, he's very easy to get a hold of. All you need to do is go over to pedenaccountingservices.com, and you can then drop him a line. There's a number right here at 703-967-1948, and you can shoot Chris an email, info@pedenaccountingservices.com. Great website, by the way. Very
Thank
very
you,
professional looking. Yeah, great website. Very cool. Very cool indeed.
I
Chris,
had a lot of help from Tackle Management here in town. If you're looking for people to help with some marketing, check out Tackle Management here in Manassas.
see, everybody gets a plug. That's right. Everybody would keep
Yep.
it local business, right? Keep it in the
Absolutely.
community. Keep it in the community.
Yes, indeed.
Chris, thanks so much for coming on, and everybody appreciates it. And good luck in your business as we continue to move ahead in a post-pandemic world. We certainly are not looking backward. We are looking forward, and we are looking forward to great new things. We're back at 11:30 today with Mary Washington Hospital. We'll be talking with the officials there. Joining us at 11:30 is Dr. Christopher Newman. He is the Chief Medical Officer there at the hospital. And of course, we'll be talking about how the hospital and the healthcare organization, Mary Washington Hospital, is moving forward in the post-pandemic world. Don't want to miss that at 11:30 and at 2:30. Dr. Bob Schneider from OmniRide will be joining us, and my dog will be joining us too. Hey, don't forget, they're here. We're all working from home, right? So we'll be talking about that as well. So live all day today. We hope you check in again at 11:30 and again at 2:30 this afternoon. Have a great day, everyone.